Today we're going to be watching 3 of the fossil preparation processes for 3 different Ichthyosaur fossils. We've got an Ichthyosaur tooth, paddle and articulated vertebrae. Lots to look forward to in today's episode. Let's have a look at preparing the tooth. On a previous fossil hunt we found this fossilised tooth. Looks like a really large tooth from an Ichthyosaur. Underneath there is quite a large fossil which the tooth is sat on top of. We don't know exactly what it is. I think it might be some type of nodule. My dad's going to take it into the workshop now and we're going to prepare the tooth. This is something we're really excited to show you. This is a look at the tooth, exactly how we found it. Me and Shay simply couldn't believe it, and we thought it was a belemnite at first, one of the squid-like creatures. The tooth is so large. I've never found an isolated tooth of this size ever before. It's going to be pretty quick to prepare, and let's start preparing it now. The tool we're going to be using is the air abrasive tool, as you can see here, and we're just getting it set up with the correct powder to use to abrade the soft shell from around the tooth. Fossil teeth are fragile. You've got to be very careful to gently prepare it. The tooth also has some fractures preserved through the tooth. These fractures are present no matter what we do, so just got to be very careful that the tooth doesn't break across them and shatter. You can see almost immediately that very thin layer of shell has been removed, and we can already see all the serrations of the tooth underneath. There's also a little ammonite preserved on the back of that shell, you can see there. Whilst we're just removing the shell from the first 3/4 of the tooth or so, we're actually going to end up removing all of the shell from this tooth so that there'll be no shell surrounding it whatsoever. Normally preparing fossils is really time consuming. However, this piece in particular we're going to be able to prepare pretty quickly by the looks of things. You can see here we're starting to remove the shell from the object that the tooth is sat on top of. We initially thought it was a nodule, but it's actually looking to be some sort of other fossil which the tooth is preserved alongside. When we realised what it was, we were really surprised because we've never ever seen a tooth associated with this type of fossil before. Preparation's going pretty well so far. We've started to uncover the tooth itself and also the fossil that's underneath it. It's looking like it might actually turn out to be a fossilised coprolite, which is fossilised feces. It's really unusual. Let's carry on preparing it and see what more detail we can uncover. If you are enjoying this preparation video, let us know in the comments if you'd like to see more of this type of video. It's really fun to watch the preparation process unfold, especially with a project like this, which we can complete within around half an hour. Now we're removing more of the shell from the reverse side of the fossil. Not too much longer to go, and we will be seeing the finished fossil tooth fully prepared at the end of the video. My dad is preparing this fossil. Eventually, me and Shay would like to be able to prepare fossils like this, but it's going to take quite a lot more practice. We definitely don't want to be practicing on a piece like this. Got to build up our skills first. Got a little bit more preparation to show you, and then my dad will quickly finish it off and I'll show you the finished result. Tiny bit more preparation work to do to remove the shale from the back of the tooth. When you next see it, in just a moment, the tooth will be fully prepared and finished. Can't believe the difference in how it's looking compared to when we started just a short while ago. And there we have it, the fossil is now fully prepared. Let's show you the finished result. Here's a look at the finished tooth, fully prepared. A really delicate fossil. With absolutely incredible detail, which we achieved through the air abrasive preparation. Look at all of the serrations down the tooth. It's also got a few little fractures through it, as you can see, and these were present when we found it. The fact it sat on top of a coprolite is something we've never ever seen before. I wonder what the story is regarding how the tooth ended up here. And I wonder what happened to the root of the tooth. Because normally the root would make the tooth overall quite a lot longer, but it's absent here, so a bit of an interesting story behind it. If you've got any ideas about how the tooth ended up on the coprolite, let us know in the comments. What an incredible piece to add to our collection. Never ever found anything like this before. Awesome. I hope you enjoyed watching the preparation process of that incredible Ichthyosaur tooth. Next up, we've got a look at an articulated Ichthyosaur paddle. We're going to be watching about the preparation process of that, followed by some vertebrae. My dad has been working very hard in the preparation workshop, preparing a whole variety of our fossils. He's got a lot of different preparation projects all on the go at the same time. Today he's decided to explore a piece of shale that we found a few years ago. This is a piece of shale that we knew had some bones inside. We didn't really think it had much exciting. We could see a couple of little ribs and that was about it. Unbelievably, as we've left the shale for a little while now, the shale has started to crack and it's formed a weakness over something pretty incredible. He's lifted the piece of shale and it's revealed something that we had no idea was there. We're incredibly excited. I'll show you the piece of shale. I'll show you what it looked like before he lifted the piece away. Then we'll have a look at exactly what was underneath. Let's have a look at it. There's many cracks throughout the shale slab, as you can tell. This is because the shale has dried out, and quite often the shale does start to crack. A few compressed ammonites also preserved within the shale, and very fortunately, this piece of shale had cracked away. Look at that. Absolutely surreal. What appears to be a complete Ichthyosaur paddle hidden within. Looks like there's even more bones going further underneath the shale. This is really exceptional. I was just sat doing some work when my dad came and called me, very excited about what he'd just discovered. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it for the first time in person. A thin layer of shale over the top of quite a few of the bones. Some have become more revealed than others just by lifting the shale. As you can see, we're incredibly pleased to have that fossil. Not only that, but he's taken it straight back into the workshop now and revealed even more of it. And it looks like a complete paddle. Let's go back and have another look. Knowing what we'd just discovered, it was difficult to resist going straight into the workshop and getting the pneumatic tools out to start revealing more of it. We needed to see whether the rest of the paddle was beneath the shale or not. And it looks like it is. There's still some more bones to be revealed. We've only just revealed the surface of the bones. However, it looks like the majority of a fully articulated Ichthyosaur paddle, which is exceptionally rare. We can't see whether any of the limb bones are in place. Hopefully there is one beneath the shale, and time will tell as my dad prepares more of it. As I mentioned initially, not only is the paddle within the block, however there's also some evidence of Ichthyosaur ribs. Who knows what else might be in here. What an absolutely incredible fossil. From now till seeing the finished result, there's a heck of a lot more preparation work involved. A lot of very fine work and many, many hours still to go. The finished result should look pretty incredible, and I'll show you it as soon as he's prepared it. Coming up next, we've got a look at the preparation process of some articulated Ichthyosaur vertebrae. This is the third and final preparation project of today's video. Let us know in the comments if there's any others you'd like to see. Let's have a look at it. In today's fossil preparation video, we're going to be having a look at some acid preparation of a partial Ichthyosaur marine reptile skeleton. This is a set of bones which are mostly articulated, preserved within a limestone nodule. This was something we were very lucky to find quite a few years ago and have finally gotten round to preparing it. The fossil itself is a section of vertebrae and unfortunately is missing the skull and missing all of the paddles or the flippers, but there is a nice section of spine with quite a few ribs still in place as well. Really interesting fossil. My dad has been gradually preparing it using acid and also work with the air pens, and gradually he's revealed almost the entirety of the fossil. Still a bit more work to go, but I'll be able to show you the progress so far on what we've been doing. To show you the process, we took step-by-step photos of the fossil at each stage. We've got different pieces of the nodule, all at different stages, and you can see how the acid has gradually removed the limestone and revealed a lot of the bones. I've got photos from each section of the fossil. We'll have a look at each of them. Then I've got a little video at the end of where we're up to with the preparation. Let's get straight into it and start having a look at the first set of photos. These are the first two pieces of the limestone nodule. As you can see, lots of pen work has already been done. After that, the nodule is then placed into the acid, and step by step, we'll see the limestone being melted away. It's really impressive to see just how quickly the bones all start to appear from within the rock. These photos were taken a couple of weeks apart each. Taking the fossil in and out of the acid is a long, time-consuming process. However, as you can see, the detail that we're able to achieve is absolutely incredible. That's a look at the first section of the Ichthyosaur which we've been preparing. Here's a quick video just to show you what it's looking like currently, even though there's still some more work yet to be done on this first section. We haven't worked on this fossil in quite some time because we've had several other projects all ongoing at the same time. Still some dust on it from the workshop. That's gathered on there as we've been preparing other bones. As you can see, it's looking amazing. That was the first part of the fossil that we prepared. Now let's have a look at the next piece of nodule, which we've also been working on. This piece of nodule also joins on perfectly to the nodule we've just seen. Again, you can see my dad has thinned out a lot of the bulk of the rock with the pens, the air pneumatic tools, and then he's dropping the limestone down gradually in the acid. The acids can be a very useful tool as long as the limestone will actually dissolve in it. Not all limestone will, so you have to make sure you have the right type of nodule. In between different stages of the acid preparation, there's also more pen work that can be done to speed things up. Taking the nodule in and out of the acid and drying it off and washing it. Each cycle tends to take a good 2 or 3 days. It's a very long process. You can see here, even though there's more work yet to be done on this section, the detail is outstanding. We're going to be removing quite a bit more rock from around the ribs, from around the vertebrae. Some of them run quite deeply into the rock, so we'll probably have to use the air pneumatic tools to speed up that process and remove a bit more of the limestone. The specimen is very, very well articulated. On the next section you'll see there's even a really lovely ammonite preserved next to the bones. And last but not least, this is the third part of the Ichthyosaur which we've been working on, and there's still more preparation work to go. I'll show you more about that in just a moment. Part of the specimen here has disarticulated, and there is a vertebrae sat on top of the other vertebrae. When the bones are scattered throughout the nodules, it does make them harder to prepare. We're quite lucky with this particular fossil because it's generally quite well articulated, but there are still some neural spines, ribs and vertebrae out of place. You have to be very careful when you're preparing them. You can see the bones look a different colour to what you would normally expect. That's because a lot of them are coated in wax to help prevent the acid from eating away at them. You can just about make out there the outline of one of the ammonites that's also preserved within this nodule. It's important to keep the ammonite nicely coated in the wax to prevent the acid from eating away at the shell. And this is how it's looking so far, with still a couple more pieces to attach. I think it's looking absolutely incredible. It's hard to believe that we found this just lying on a beach, albeit we found it in multiple parts. However, it was certainly worth spending the time and effort looking for all of the pieces. Sadly, the skull was never found. Last but not least, here's a look at the final section of the Ichthyosaur. We've not done much preparation on this piece yet, but I'll show you it anyway, and you'll be able to compare it to a future video when hopefully we've got the entire Ichthyosaur prepared. Compared to the previous nodules that you've seen, where the bones are pretty much all exposed now, with still some finer work to go, this is the final 2 pieces, which haven't really been started on. The first thing we've done is removed quite a lot of the thickness of the limestone and iron pyrite using the air pneumatic pens. We've tried to reveal the outline of some of the bones. However, this is particularly tricky because there's so much pyrite involved. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this progresses. Every single nodule here contains an ammonite fossil. They range from large to small ammonites and also different species. The majority of nodules here will open up really well. You can never guarantee which ones will, however these have the best chance. If you'd like a selection of ammonites to open up yourself at home, please contact us on our Instagram page, yorkshire.fossils, or alternatively visit our official website, yorkshirefossils.net, for both ammonites to open yourself, as well as fully prepared specimens. And if you do get some, I really hope you enjoy opening them, and thanks in advance for supporting what we do. And there we have it. That's the preparation work that we've done so far on this Ichthyosaur. I hope you've liked this style of video, taking photos as we go along to see how the preparation work unfolds. If you'd like to see more of this type of video, let us know in the comments and we can certainly look into getting some more made like this. I've got a scenery clip now just to end off the video. Thanks for watching, and me and Shay will see you in the next one.